Hey, good morning, everybody. Here we are, another wonderful opportunity the Lord's blessed us with to get our day kicked off with the right thing, and that is a dose of His Word. This morning, I want to talk about, excuse me, eternal life. Did you know that eternal life is possible and available for everyone? Doesn't make any difference who you are, where you're from, what your past is, or even what your present circumstances are. Eternal life is available to everyone. God saw that to be by the giving of Jesus and his great sacrifice on Calvary. But is there something required of us? Jesus tells us a little bit here. I want you to think about this for a moment. In Matthew the 18th chapter, there's a big conversation going on here. It starts off with the disciples wanting to know who was the greatest. And Jesus makes some points that's specifically directed to them, but there's also an application that we can make concerning ourselves and about what we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Notice this. Jesus said in Matthew 18, verse 3, he says, "Surely I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." So the entrance to the kingdom of heaven is possible, isn't it? Is it a given? Are we entitled to it? No. Notice something that Jesus said that you and I must do. The kingdom of heaven is available. It's possible. But John 3:16 in and of itself isn't going to get us there. Did you catch what Jesus said? He says, unless, that word unless means that there is a condition that must be met. There's some change that must be taking place. Unless you are converted and become as little children. Let me just suggest to you very simply, all right, what this idea of conversion means. Is that I have to change my way of thinking. I have to change my way of thinking and thinking I'm going to live the way I want to. I'm going to go to heaven on my terms. Now the disciples go, all right, now they're thinking, hey, we're in Jesus's group here, buddy. We are a shoe-in. But here they come. Who's going to be the greatest? Jesus said, you're going to have to change your thinking. You're going to have to change the way you see things. You're not entitled just because you're with my disciples. You're going to have to make some changes. And friend, it's the same thing for you and I as well. The kingdom of heaven is open and available to anyone. But we have to change the way that we think. And we have to change the way that we think from thinking of self, I'm going to live the way I want to, because I'm entitled according to God's grace. No, Jesus said to the disciples, they're going to have to change their thinking. And verse 4, therefore whoever humbles himself. People say, well, I'm humble. I'm not pride whatsoever. I have no pride. I have none of this type. I'm humble. Okay. Let's just think about this for a minute. If we have humbled ourselves, then why don't we believe what Jesus says sometimes? If we're humble, why do we refuse to listen to something that goes against what we hear? If we are so humble, why are we cemented in our own beliefs and what we want to be true without any possibility that maybe I'm wrong? That's not humble. That's prideful. And that was really the downfall of Israel in the days of old. You read through the book of Jeremiah, I believe it's in Jeremiah chapter 7. God said, are you going to commit adultery and lie and steal and come up in my house and worship me? I don't think so. But you see, they thought they could live any way they wanted to. They could believe any version, format, or whatever that they wanted to, and they were still going to be. So notice what Jesus says. That kingdom of heaven is available. But I've got to change my thinking, and I've got to line it up with him. Not what I think he says, but what he says. I've got to humble myself. I've got to get over me. I have got to put what I would want to be true, like to be true, believe to be true, and change it if need be. And that's going to take some humility. It takes a big man to admit, hey, you know what? I'm wrong. It takes a big man to be able to see the scriptures exactly as they are written in contrast to what I've been taught. It takes a lot of humbleness. It takes a lot of humility to do that. But the kingdom of heaven is available to those that are willing to change their thinking, be converted, to humble themselves, but also to make some application that. Jesus goes on in the next section here. And he says, if your hand or your foot causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you. So now there's some big changes I need to make, isn't there? That's going to come along with repentance. I can't make those hard changes if I first am not humble. And if I have not yet changed the way that I look and the way that I see things, specifically according to the Bible. Jesus says you've got to he uses the example of your eye. Pluck it out. If your hand causes you sin, your foot, cut it off. And then he says, cast it from you. And then he goes on to say, it says it's rather than having two hands or feet to be cast back up. It's better for you to enter into life lame. Enter into life. Life is possible. The kingdom of heaven is possible. But Jesus has put some requirements on you and I. We've got to change the way we think religiously very well. We have got to humble ourselves to admit that we're wrong, seek to see if I am wrong, honestly, and then make those changes. I need to cut them things out and I need to cast them out. I don't cut my hand off and keep carrying it around in my pocket. You see, life is available for everyone. The kingdom of heaven is available for everyone. God made that possible through the sacrifice of Jesus. But for me to get that, I've got to make some real changes. I've got to change my thinking. I've got to become humble. And I have got to do whatever it is. You know, to admit that we're wrong, that'd be like, so there's some folks, it'd be like cutting their foot off, wouldn't it? For a lot of people to come along and study the Bible, and admit what they believe is wrong, that'd be like cutting their own foot off. But Jesus said you're going to have to do that if you want to get into life. Now, why did he put all these things out there? Well, number one, he goes on down in verse 11. He says, for the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. Because he loves you, and he wants you in the kingdom, and he wants you to be in life. But he can't do these things for you, and he won't do these things for you. He's done his part. But the question becomes, are you ready to do your part? Interesting, isn't it? Are you ready to do your part? It's available. He wants you there. But are you ready to change your thinking, whether morally or even doctrinally? Are you ready to humble yourself? And are you ready to actually put into action what needs to happen so that you can enter life? There's your dose of God's Word today. I hope it'll get you thinking. Hey, I hope you all have a great day. Lord willing, we'll get back tomorrow and we'll get us another dose of God's Word. We'll see you then.